morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to City Hall and to our committee room here. And we're delighted to be making official announcement, I guess, of the participation by C-SPAN and Spectrum here in our city for a wonderful endeavor. I want to recognize two of our council members, Councilmember Jeff McIntosh from the Northwest Ward and Councilmember John Larson from the South Ward. Glad to have you here. We are just delighted that C-SPAN will be doing a documentary, if you will, of our city. As I understand it, they're looking at a number of small and mid-sized cities and trying to pull out some of the literary history and the nonfiction kind of events that have gone on and are going on in our community. And we have such a rich mosaic of that in our community. And I think the results of that will be just great for the people across the country to see the culture and the history and the vibrancy of Winston-Salem. So I've actually, in creating this, we've actually named today as C-SPAN Cities Tour Day in Winston-Salem via proclamation. I'll read it very briefly. Whereas the Cable Satellite Public Affairs Network, or C-SPAN, has operated for the last 38 years as a private, not-for-profit company giving viewers insight into government. And whereas today C-SPAN service is available to 100 million American homes and globally via the internet, providing round-the-clock access to public affairs and political events, U.S. government proceedings, and more. And whereas C-SPAN is bringing its book TV and American history TV shows on its 2018 Cities Tours to Winston-Salem on February 20th to highlight our city's diverse history. And I have therefore declared today a C-SPAN Tour Day in Winston-Salem. So on behalf of the citizens of Winston-Salem, we're just delighted to have this company here and the work that you're going to be doing. It's my pleasure now to turn the program over to Mia Bradley, who is Director of Government Affairs with Spectrum, and we enjoy the great partnership that we have with Spectrum as well and look forward to working with you. Mia?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mia Bailey. I'm the Government Affairs Director with Spectrum Cable, and I cannot tell you how pleased we are to partner with Ashley, with C-SPAN for the Cities Tour to showcase Winston-Salem's rich culture and history, and to continue our partnership with the city. So if there's anything that we can do to continue to support your efforts here, we are more than happy. Ashley, thank you so much for your great work.
Oh, good morning, y'all. First of all, I have to say it is so good to be in a place where I'm not the only one saying y'all. I come from a y'all area and I'm like, oh, I'm back with my peeps. Thanks to the small but mighty crowd who came out here today to hear about the C-SPAN Cities Tour's visit to Winston-Salem. We could not be more excited to be here working with our Spectrum Cable partners. First, just thank you to everyone here today. Thank you to Ed McNeil, who is unfortunately a little bit under the weather, but you have such a great resource in him. From the word go, Mia contacted Ed, passed him along to me, and the second I spoke with him, he was engaged and excited and welcoming. And that's kind of been the theme of our entire visit. We've been here since Saturday afternoon, and everybody that we've met has just been curious and excited and wanted to sing the praises of the city and see it highlighted on our networks. And we are really thankful for that. Again, we are here because of our partnership with Spectrum, so thank you to Mia. We've enjoyed a long business and educational partnership with Spectrum, and it truly is because of them that the C-SPAN Cities Tour is in the Winston-Salem community this week. For those of you who don't know, C-SPAN was actually created by the cable industry in 1979. Its mission was to provide viewers with direct access to their lawmakers. Now, we have a lot of varied programming on C-SPAN that you might not expect and a lot of resources at our disposal, but there are a few things you will never see on C-SPAN. Number one, use of government or taxpayer money of any kind. Number two, commercials. And number three, editorializing. It truly is a one-of-its-kind service. Since our founding in 1979, we've expanded to include C-SPAN 2 and C-SPAN 3. Now, those highlight our book TV and American history TV programming for 48 hours every weekend, and brings me to why I'm here today. Just as C-SPAN strives to make Washington, D.C. accessible to the rest of the country, the C-SPAN Cities Tour looks to turn a spotlight on unique cities, specifically small to mid-sized cities usually, around the country, to show the rest of the country something interesting about their history and literary scene. Now, how do we do that? Well, we're 3 producers, we travel America, and we embed ourselves in a city for a week at a time. We interview local authors and historians and go to museums and college campuses. And we hope we introduce America to what makes a place like Winston-Salem so great, and then maybe also show you something you might not have known about your own community or forgot about your own community. You know, my mom used to travel to Winston-Salem for work. She retired from BB&T, and she used to tell me that she really thought that this was a cute city, that I would really, you should go on down to North Carolina, I think you'd like it. And so I was really excited, but you know, sometimes, even though I'm 34, when your like parents tell you something, you're like, okay, sure. And I have just, she was right. I've been completely taken with your city. We've been here since Saturday, and I've tried to hit the ground running and seeing everything that the locals would want us to. So I've been to Cranky's Coffee. Y'all, they have a biscuits and gravy situation there that like my mamaw is like in heaven, just like, yes, eat that food, girl. I went out to your cute Shell station, the little roadside oddity, which I love. I always look for things as we travel around. Took my picture with the big coffee pot at Old Salem yesterday. Truly have just been like drinking my weight in coffee and replacing all the liquids in my body with cheer wine and sweet tea while I'm here. And so a lot of eating and a lot of traveling around, but more specifically and most importantly, we've really been engaging with the community members here in Winston-Salem. And we're based out of Washington, D.C., and sometimes when you live in a big city, there's a hustle and bustle there, and people don't really get to connect in the way that maybe we should. And so to be here, I'm from Southern West Virginia. I was raised by people from Kentucky. And so to be here around people who have that same welcoming, warm mindset has been a gift to me. So, without further ado, I would love to tell you the stories that we'll be covering to highlight your wonderful city. They're all, as your mayor mentioned, documentary-style pieces. And what's great about C-SPAN is we really let the community tell its story. It's not about us. We're not up there with a host talking. We interview folks. We let them tell the story. And because we don't have commercials, we get to let them tell the story as long as it takes to be told, which is something that I think is really lovely. So, unfortunately, my colleagues couldn't be here. They are out on other shoots. But our American History TV producer, Jen Garrett, is currently right now learning about Old Salem and the Moravian founders. I had never heard of Moravians before I was here, and I learned just a lot about them yesterday being in Old Salem, and I thought it was really interesting. And she's also going to be looking at Hidden Town while she's there later this week. She, yesterday, got to tell the story of the first Black Panther chapter in a southern state that was established right here at Winston-Salem. She'll also be visiting the Happy Hill community to learn about its history and then its modern day. And then she's also going to be visiting sites such as the Museum of Early Southern Decorative Arts and Ronalda. Yesterday, I spent time on the campus of Salem Academy and College. It seemed like women was a real theme yesterday. I'm going to start singing I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar if somebody doesn't stop me. But yesterday, I was at City Council, and you honored your great women leaders here in the community, which was inspiring for me to see. And it was also inspiring to go out to Salem Academy and College and learn about, it's the oldest educational institution for women in the South, and one of the very first ones to be established, and to learn why the Moravians found it important for women to be educated all the way back in the 1700s, which is something that was kind of unheard of at the time. So we're going to be telling that story. Sidebar, they also gave me some Moravian cookies. I don't know if you've had those black walnut cookies, but they're very good. Our book TV producer, Tiffany Rock, also couldn't be here. She is on a shoot right now. But yesterday, she spent time with your own Frank Elliott to hear about his book, From Tobacco to Technology, Reshaping Winston-Salem for the 21st Century. She also spoke with author Charlie Levitt, visited his home to see his Lewis Carroll collection. He's a big fan of Alice in Wonderland, and so he has Lewis Carroll's typewriter. He has first editions of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and just a treasure trove of curiosities there that I think probably would make Lewis Carroll proud, that had to do with his book. So we'll be looking at that. She's going to be going to Wake Forest to look at the Maya Angelou collection there, which is incredible. She's speaking with Spring Duvall on her book Snatch, Child Abductions in U.S. News Media, and Jack Monell on his book Delinquency, Pop Culture, and Generation Y. She'll also be speaking with Michelle Gillespie on her book Catherine and R.J. Reynolds, Partners of Fortune in the Making of the New South. I'll have an opportunity to get a sense of the city later this week with an interview with Mayor Joines. Thank you very much for agreeing to that, which will air on C-SPAN's flagship program, Washington Journal. So every piece that we shoot is going to air on a special weekend of programming dedicated to Winston-Salem on C-SPAN 2 and C-SPAN 3, going to air right here on your Spectrum channels March 17th and 18th. Now, if y'all forget to set those DVRs, do not worry. Winston-Salem's going to have a special landing page on our C-SPAN Cities Tour website. That's cspan.org/cities tour. And if y'all aren't sick of us yet, if you're on social media, please find us. We're on Twitter. Our handle is @cspancities. And there we're doing a lot of behind-the-scenes photos. You can see what we're up to. You can give us food suggestions. You can tell me where to get cheer wine. And just kind of see how we're highlighting your city from that perspective. In addition to all of our televised pieces, our partnership with Spectrum has allowed us to do extensive community outreach, and that includes working with local civic groups such as your Chamber of Commerce, and also going into schools, your middle and high schools, to talk about C-SPAN's Student Cam student documentary competition. I again want to thank the City of Winston-Salem for being so welcoming in that great Southern way and being curious and engaged about our project, and of course our partners at Spectrum for making this all happen. We truly, again, are in this city because of them. I hope you tune in March 17th and 18th, and I hope you're proud of the way we represent your city. Thank you so much.